Hello, this is Mr. Kenzie's integrated algebra class, graphing quadratics, which once again is a review unit. We are moving on to day 2. We're going to talk about various types of quadratics and then graph them. Please turn to the next page. Now this warm-up, you will be doing this on your own. It's the same thing we did in yesterday's lesson. You're going to state if it's a minimum or maximum, part A for each. Then find the axis of symmetry, so use x is equal to negative b all over 2a. And then find the turning point. You can try to do it using the calculator. I would also do it by hand to find the turning point. The first graph you are actually going to be doing on your own. We're going to skip this one. That's going to be part of your homework. We're going to move on to example number 2. So for example number 2, this says graph and label. So the first thing that we need to do, and we have a bigger coordinate plane today, we have to find our axis of symmetry. You always want to do that first to find out if your axis of symmetry is a whole number or if it is a decimal. Because if it's decimal, we're going to have to do it by our hand. So we have x is equal to negative b all over 2a. So we're going to plug in. Our b value is the number attached to x, which is 4. As we know, our a value is the number in front of x squared, so that's 2 times 1. So now we're going to simplify. So negative 4 over 2 times 1, which is 2. That simplifies to negative 2. Now we have an integer value, which means we can go right to the calculator. I am going to set up my table that I'm going to use to graph with negative 2 in the middle. Now remember, in the middle, that's our turning point. That's where our maximum and minimum would be. So now I'm going to take 4 values that are less than negative 2, the first 4, so negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, and the first values that are greater than negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So now I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to plug this in and find the y values. So when we do this, we have x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now when we graph, we have a positive a value, so we'll see we have a minimum. And I'm going to look at my table. So our table, we're going to copy down from negative 6 all the way to 2. So I'm going to go to my paper. We should have 16, 9, 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, 9, and 16. Now 16 will not fit in the graph. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with negative 5. Then we have negative 4, 4. Then we have negative 3, 1. Negative 2, 0. Negative 1, 1. 0, 4. 1, 9. So we want to make this as a U shape, not a V. A V would indicate absolute value. So do the best job you can to make a nice rounded U shape. And we want to label this. Y is equal to x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now we want to do our turning point. We just found that. Negative 2, 0. Now you can't write it like this. It must be in parentheses because it's a coordinate. Now, looking at this, it says, is this a maximum or a minimum? This right here would be a minimum, once again, because a value is positive and it goes no lower than this. So this is a minimum. One more thing that I want to talk about are our roots. So for the roots, it's where across the x-axis. It only hits the x-axis at one spot. So we have 1 real because it does not, or it does cross the x-axis. rational root. Rational because it crosses at -2, so that number terminates. And once again, we talked about that in yesterday's lesson, where this one did not cross, so it was imaginary roots. Okay, I would like you to flip to the next page, and I want to look at number number 4. So number 3 you'll be doing in addition to number 1 and the warm-up for your homework. First thing we need to do is we need to find our axis of symmetry. So we have x is equal to -b all over 2a. So we're going to plug this in. Our b value is 4. The a value is 2. So now we're going to simplify. We have -4 over 4. So x is equal to -1. So now I'm going to take my x and y values, and I'm going to put -1. That's the first part of our turning point, as we talked about. And I'm going to take 4 values that are less than, so -2, -3, -4, -5. Here we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to get these values from my calculator, go and plug it in. And when I do that, I'm going to get 27, 13, 3, -3, -5, -3, 3, 13, and 27. So now I'm going to graph this. So when we graph this, 27 will not fit. 13 will not fit, as you can see, because it goes up to 10. So the first thing we're doing is, or graphing, is -3 and 3. Then we have -2, -3. Then we have -1, -5. Then we have 0, -3, and 1, 3. So as you can see, this parabola, or quadratic, is a little bit more narrow, also known as stretched. I'm going to label it with y is equal to 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. Now I want to talk about the roots here. Our roots in this one, first of all, it crosses twice. So we know we have 2 roots. We know that they are real, all right, because they are, or the parabola does not cross the x-axis, so we have 2 real. Now these are going to be irrational. The reason why these roots are going to be irrational is they're going to cross the x-axis in not really nice places. So we're going to call these irrational. And just roots. So you are to finish the warm-up and the 2 graphs that are on this specific unit. Thank you.